SunDaze. I am the illest host from the East Coast, eating the most delicious slices of butter toast, Styles. And this man is.
It's your boy Fifth in the building.
And this man is.
It's hammer time, baby. Let's do it.
And our special guest on the show, E Money. You can announce yourself if you want. You are.
E Money is. I like that. Big Easy, they call me.
Yeah. I like that
Easy.
shit.
There we go.
So
I like that shit too.
yeah. Pleasure
Welcome to the show,
being on your
everyone.
show.
Probably nobody's watching yet, but usually a couple people come in. But we post this after the fact everywhere. You know what I mean?
Out.
Yeah, you saw that. So listen, yeah. So basically, we're broadcasting to you live today from deep inside liberal Massachusetts, and we're gonna just debate. We actually, dude, I love that you even came on here, bro, because usually we can't even get somebody who identifies as a Democrat to even come and talk to us. They won't even talk to us.
This is awesome. This is
Again.
good.
So this is
Grind
awesome.
for weeks.
I appreciate it. I months.
You gotta remember, a lot of people are scared about an again. Everybody, that's gonna be an ambush. Listen,
It won't.
I'm here. I'm ready. I didn't back out. I know a lot of y'all was saying, "Yo, this cat ain't gonna show up."
Because it's not because of you though. It's because of that's what's been done to us every single time that people say, like, we're definitely gonna come on, we're gonna talk to you. They ghost us. So props to you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I'm no snowflake, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Love it.
Yeah.
All
Alright, so Joey, if you have anything
let's
to say,
let's get right into let's get right into this. So we're gonna have a 4-topic debate today. Hammer time's mostly gonna be on the fact checking side. I'm mostly gonna moderate this, kind of host this, kind of push the show through.
Yeah.
The majority of this is gonna be, I don't want to call it a versus, but like a Styles and Easy Money. Gonna be kind of the big easy here, and kind of go back and forth on these topics. So the first topic we're gonna bring up is Trump's tariffs, good or bad, and if you guys have any points to bring up, like, so I take it that Styles, you're gonna take the affirmative on that, and Big Easy, you're gonna take the negative on that on the tariffs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, who wants to go first? If you want to go first, actually, as a guest.
So how many of you guys are in the trades? In the trades?
I don't know if I mean, I used to be a maintenance technician for like almost 20 years, but I work for the school department now, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm a maintenance type, guy. But yeah.
So we got 2 guys that are in the trades. I don't know if you guys are, I think somebody mentioned they were union. Okay, you're a union electrician, right? You
Yes,
know
sir.
how carpenters feel about about electricians. We don't
The feeling's mutual. The feeling's mutual.
Listen,
I love that.
hey, my daughter's a really good electrician. Just to put it out there.
Well,
All right.
Awesome. That's good
So,
shit.
I'll take her on my crew.
yeah. Sweet.
Yeah,
Slow down.
So, knowing we're all in the trades right now in Boston, and I know you've brought this up before, how Boston has been booming for years. Right now, those cranes aren't moving as fast as they were. I had to lay off 25 guys 2 or 3 weeks ago because I had no material coming in. And do you know why? Because my metal studs and my drywall come from Canada. Okay?
Yeah.
The steel that's going up on the new buildings that we have, my company has 2 big buildings, Simmons College and one on the wharf. I think that's another college over there. It's another 9-story that we're doing over there. Yeah. The cranes are stopped, my friends. So, those same steel guys from those jobs have been going back and forth to one of the jobs I'm running, and another job that another friend of mine is running, and we got 2 steel companies right now that are producing the steel in the United States. Right? They're not making steel fast enough to accommodate these jobs. All right. Again, we could have went with a different way. We didn't have to do that right away. And on top of that, this is the deal that Trump made in his first term with Canada and Mexico. You could fact check that.
But
go ahead.
I was gonna say the one big question I have though is that is that yes, that sucks. I'm not gonna deny that, but we're definitely gonna feel a little bit of pain. Like, so should we be subsidizing Canada for hundreds of millions of dollars
Okay.
and let them
here's
get
the
away with
thing.
this shit? Like we're in a war with them, sorta. You know what I mean?
Okay, again, like I said before, this is a policy that Trump did back in 2017, 18 when he was in office.
Yeah.
He's fighting on his own policy. Okay, he made the deal himself. So he's basically fighting on his own policy. Second of all, we give more to Canada than they give us, basically. We only, you know what we get from them? We get from them steel.
Sure.
We get from aluminum, and we get what was it? A farming substance. There's a list of materials that we get. They buy the junk that we make. That's
Yeah,
it. The things that
I
we
mean, they
produce,
buy much more. They buy much more. Right? Could you grab the stats on how much we buy from them, how much they buy from?
No. I have a question. I'm going to double back on what you're saying.
Are you talking about overall?
Well, can I say anything one quick? Because Joey, I feel like you would be better to discuss this portion of it with him because I don't do what you guys do, so I can't.
No. I'm not even gonna dig into the.
Yeah.
I just have the overall. So I have a quick. So you're saying because of the tariffs, we can't produce the steel. We can't produce anything in the United States fast enough to keep up with.
No. Yeah, we are producing steel. Here's the thing.
No, but we're not doing it.
We're only producing in Virginia and Pennsylvania right now.
No, that's exactly where I'm going. You're going exactly where I'm going with this.
And we're not producing.
But why?
Because we cut off.
We should have never done it.
No. Well, all right. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I'm gonna say this. We have, as both parties, for the longest time, we've shipped all our manufacturing outside the United States. We have devastated ourselves in this manner.
We should never put ourselves in this position.
Both parties have done this.
Here's the thing. I understand putting a stomp on one company so we could get better as a country.
Bring it back to the country.
Yes, but when we're hurting other workers because of this, that's not right. Listen, what's the problem with getting steel with Canada? We've done it before. That's the deal that he made. So why are we doing that now? Why are we doing that to ourselves? I don't get that.
It's hard for me to speak. It's hard for me to speak why he's doing that because I'm not him. But I'll say this: from an optic looking in, could this be one step back to take two steps forward? Maybe. So what you're saying, right, is in 2016 he made this policy. Now in 2024 he's doing something different. Do you think maybe he learned his lesson? He may have looked at it and said that was a bad move, and now we need to do something different.
We didn't have. The only time we had a disruption in material was during COVID.
Well, that was across the planet, though. I mean, that was for everything and everyone.
That was the only time we had a disruption. We've had, and you as a union electrician know, we've been strong for years. We haven't been strong for years.
Oh, we've probably been strong since 2013, 14 anyway. And that's coming out of a 5-year dip from 08.
And China's part of the problem too, because we can't be letting China get away with fucking murder. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to break something to fix it.
Paul, in this instance, China doesn't have anything really to do with this particular.
No. I understand. You understand the correlation I'm trying to make. Like,
I get what you're saying with China, but again, okay. So my dad worked for Johnson & Johnson 45 years. He made prosthetic parts, right? They always threatened his job to ship it over because his cost was way too much, right? Ridiculous amount. What they would charge for this man to be making these prosthetic parts and, going to these people, right? So
but it couldn't be made as well.
I'm saying, do you know what his what he was making last before he retired in 2000? What was it? 2098, I think he retired. His last paycheck, that man was making $12 an hour in a factory.
Bro.
Okay, hey, he worked there 45 years, my man.
Yeah, my grandmother actually, she worked in a factory and in an assembly line and putting stuff together.
Okay,
and it's the same type of thing.
So here's my point. We don't have people nowadays that are willing to go back to making that type of money. especially with the cost of things. You're not going to try to convince somebody. You're not going to convince somebody to go into a factory and make iPhones when they could jump on YouTube and make a fool of themselves.
But not everyone hits in that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Though. Not every person.
That's like this
viral.
thing that they're saying now. That's like the thing that they're saying right now. Is
everybody
like,
wants to be YouTubers.
If we don't have illegal immigrants, who's gonna do all of our crap work? Like that's a bad. But who's
like, gonna? Nobody.
Like maybe we should stop being lazy fucks as Americans. Like
this is why.
One mic.
Oh, sorry, guys.
This is why I'm sorry. I keep on jumping, but I'm saying this is exactly why textiles and all that stuff left this country, because nobody wants to. Listen, when construction started getting big and they started grabbing people from the street, you're telling me, wait, I can make $16, $17 an hour. This is back in 2000. Instead of working for $12 and putting together, and I'll be outside. I could smoke cigarettes outside. I could fucking smoke weed before the job. Are you fucking
Oh.
How many
now you're getting me. Hey, this guy's winning me over right now.
How many people thought about that? Because I was one of those guys. Hey, I worked in a factory when I was 18 for 3 months. My brother-in-law's boss saw me one day on the corner and said, "What do you do?" I said, "I don't do shit." From that day on, I did drywall. Why? Because the money was better. I was making like $7, $8 in that factory. I went from making $7, $8 to $14 right off just learning.
Yeah, that's 100% increase.
So you tell me, what am I going to go back to a factory, or am I going to go stay with construction?
No, but somebody.
No. I understand.
Not everyone can hang. Not everyone can hang with that construction. That's the problem.
I get that.
But people wouldn't go from making $14 to $16 an hour to go back down. That would be more like an entry level, almost like, I'm not saying a minimum wage job, but it could be an entry level job for somebody to do. You wouldn't jump down from making like 16, 18, 20.
No, but I kind of see what he's saying. Because I posed the same. I thought about this when the minimum wage in Massachusetts went to $15 an hour. And some of these apprentices that work with me, they're coming in, they're making $21 an hour. And I said, to myself, how do you expect to get kids? How do you expect to get kids out of high school to say, I can fucking flip burgers and salt fucking fries for $15 an hour, or I'm gonna go break my balls for $21 an hour?
Yeah,
they're gonna
but
go
that's
for that
part of what's wrong in this
every
country.
time. Well, that's something we gotta fix.
Yeah, but there's no progression with a job like that. Like,
but they don't look, bro. When you're in high school,
wait, hold on. But does that go back to the laziness of how we are as Americans?
Of course.
And now I don't want to jump topics.
Yeah.
This is why Spanish people and all these other people are taking these jobs, because they have no problem taking these jobs.
Yeah, because they have nothing left.
I got a stab in the steel here too.
You know what I mean? Well, go ahead. Let's not jump fucking topics. We're still talking about that.
We import steel from Canada to Mexico. It's upwards of 40% at an estimated value of $20 billion a year. And that's straight from Google.
Hey, that's a big chunk taken out of our economy. Can you imagine? Just now, we're not fucking with them, right? And if we do fuck with them, we're getting it at an increased price. So again, how is that helping the working man?
But I have a question though.
It's not affecting you. It's affecting the person that's buying. So it's affecting your customer. It's not affecting you.
Yeah,
because your company's gonna bid that price into the price that they give your customer. So the customer is essentially eating it. It's not you.
No, and here's the problem. So I didn't have enough material on the job, right? I had to let go of some guys because I had no materials coming in. Guys, we're not getting material for 2 weeks, right? I'm going to have to let some of you guys go, okay? That's the first instance. Now, the company sees this. I'm a union worker, right? Do you realize what we get paid?
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to go first? Who's going to go first?
I used to be a union carpenter. I used to be in 33.
No, well, I'm in 30.
When it was 33.
I'm in 330 now. But what I'm saying is who do you think is going to go first? They need the material, right? If they need to cut cost, the worker's going to go first.
Oh, of course, yeah, because they have to. You guys are gonna sit for the 2 weeks and then come back and start working again. But that's usually how you guys in the union work, though. You guys are in and out of the hall, back and forth a lot.
No, man. Hey, listen, with this company, I've been with them for 3 years. Every other company I've been with is 6, 7 years. I've had long runs with companies. If you don't last, it's because you're not good.
Or you don't want to work. Or you don't want to work.
Exactly. You don't want to work.
But I have a big question.
In the Carpenters Union.
I have a big question. I've been sitting here. I've been a good boy for a long time here. I've been sitting here very quiet, listening to you guys. And you have a lot. You have tons of great points on this. But so we're talking about materials. We're talking about building materials. But what about But what about when it comes to shit that affects homeland security, like antibiotics and shit like that? Other countries are making it, and then when we need it, they're saying, "Sorry, we're not going to give it to you."
We fucked up. This goes back to what we were talking about. We fucked ourselves.
We got to change it.
All of this. We shipped everything that we need. That's vital outside to other countries. That was terrible. That was the dumbest fucking thing we could do.
So that has a lot to do with Big Pharma. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hate Big Pharma.
This is and this goes from both sides. We can't fucking pick and choose what side. This is both sides because nobody's fucking figured out a way to fucking grab Big Pharma by the neck and shut them down.
They're a monster. They're a fucking monster.
They are a menace, and I do agree that both sides are both guilty for letting that because there's no
and getting rich as fuck.
There's no reason why somebody can't afford their insulin or can't afford their metformin or listen. I'm type 2 diabetic, right? I take I use Ozempic, right? I went. I was gonna mention Ozempic. I went the other day to get my refill, and it went up by $10. Now I can afford it. My insurance is good. I got a good job. My wife got a really good job. I could afford it, right? But I'm thinking about the guy behind me.
It's because all these fatties are using up all the Ozempic and getting freaking Ozempic face. Like,
well, your boy had mentioned he was gonna make a cut on it because of his fat friend. You guys didn't see that fucking interview?
No.
Didn't he call it the fat drug?
Did
he call it the fat drug?
You see that? He was talking about cutting the cost of Ozempic, and he started talking about his
Ryan, find the clip, Ryan, and send it to Paul so we can play it.
All right, hold on.
Yeah. Bring it up if you can find it. Yeah, we can find it.
I will.
Dude, anyway. But that's one thing. I always say about Trump. Sometimes Trump says fucking wild ass shit that you shouldn't say.
Because he doesn't give a fuck.
Hey, listen. Let's stay on track here.
Yeah.
Let's stay on track.
You guys
bumped out.
Yeah.
You guys bumped out the mental health shit. But we'll do that on another.
Oh yeah.
I think I'll come back on another Sunday. We could do. I'll tell you what, because I know you love the trans issue. We could do that next time. All right.
Yeah. We can do also.
I do agree with you there. But I do think you're a little harsh.
He is.
Yeah.
He definitely is.
I do think
I'm a little harsh, but also like you do realize that like I have no hatred for these people. They have absolutely no right to exist. Absolutely.
Okay,
but you shouldn't expect for everyone else to participate in your delusions. I don't make people participate in my delusions.
Paul,
I don't do
relax. Bring it down. Tone it down, Paul.
That's like you putting out a fucking meme about Spix. You know what I'm saying? And me not to be fucking offended about.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, look at the world we grew up in, man. What the fuck type of crazy ass bullshit world are we living in?
Hey, we're going off topic again.
Yeah, I know, but we're gonna bring up the thing. Hold up. No, we're gonna bring up the thing. Oh, I did it. I fucked it up. Hold up.
What, did you get rid of him?
You got rid of him.
I got him back, I think.
You put him backstage?
Hold up. I got him.
There we go.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to bring this up here. Okay, here we go. This is Trump telling his friend fat, I guess.
Oh, yeah, this is hilarious.
I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up, and he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy, very successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. President, could I...
All right, we got it.
Bro, okay, listen, and why can't we talk about this shit? Because that's part of what E is saying, like that's his issue.
Dude, all I heard through the first 18 seconds, other than the fat shot, was his ego going, very successful. You know, we can sit here and make fun of him just like everyone else.
Yeah, we can definitely.
He has a lot of word salad too.
He used to call me
president.
Yeah.
I don't know why he calls me president.
What we're talking about with those materials, that doesn't do it for me on tariffs. Like it really
that's
doesn't
one.
do it
That's
for me.
one. That's because with the tariffs, that's one area that the tariffs have negatively affected. Let's talk. Is it?
And
Is it? Is it all
we
negative?
haven't got. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we haven't
That's
even
fine.
got. Dude, we're not even all the way through. So now that ripple effect from the first 145 that he put on,
Mhm.
we're gonna start to feel that in a few months, my friends. Beef in Nebraska, dude. Some beef is almost $54 a pound, cuz.
Hey guys, sorry to cut you guys off, but I always have the news going on in the background here. I don't know exactly what's going on, but they're saying that the headline is Trump's agenda is at stake as the two billionaires slug it out. Fight goes nuclear. I don't know what is going
That's
on.
Elon. That's Elon and Trump.
Yeah. Holy
Again,
smokes.
hey, we'll get to
Yeah,
that on
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
on
Ryan,
another
check that.
Sunday. Let
Ryan,
that
check that.
play out, and we got enough.
Check the beef in Nebraska, Ryan. Because that's the first I'm hearing of that.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm not saying you're lying. I'm not saying you're lying. I want to know
Yeah.
about it.
Nebraska's about to go under.
It's good
they
to
don't
talk
have-
about all this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no, you gotta shed light on it, man. That's the way to be.
Nebraska's about to go under right now because they don't have any workers, and they voted for Trump unanimously. Like they all, like, dude, they're about to go bankrupt.
Yeah, but that isn't. I don't think that's because of Trump, though. That's what you know. What I mean, you can't blame the president for the state going. That's like trying to blame the president for California being in disarray.
But the immigration had a lot to do with it, right? The tariffs had a lot to do with that.
I'd love to talk immigration.
No, but aren't the tariffs on pause right now? Aren't the majority of the tariffs on pause for 90 days?
They're on pause, but
so how is any of that affecting shit right now?
So anything that came in
Before
there was a boat that came, I don't know, a few weeks ago that had the 145 that was still on that, right? It got to the dock. It was charged the 145 tariff.
That came from China.
So now it's gonna be in our chain.
So
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's right about that.
Hold on. So check this out. I'm doing a job in Westfield right now, where the owner of this building is from Turkey. They extrude aluminum. So he has an extruded aluminum plant over there, and they were shipping it, and he makes a fucking $1 billion a year in the United States. He actually built his plant in Westfield right now, and the tariffs were going to be, I think, $1.5 million on top of his $10 million machine. He went to the state. He had a dinner with one of our senators, and the senator went and got the tariff drop for him. So they gave because his company is now building it. That's not what the tariff is for. The tariff is for if you're going to build something in America, they're not going to use the tariff money as you're building your plant for materials coming to America because you're doing it in America. It's for shit that's, in this case, it worked out for the guy because he saved the 1.5.
So here's my issue with that. So he had to go basically make a backroom deal to get that tariff knocked off.
Because of how the bill was interpreted, and as soon as he brought that to light, they rescinded on it.
Why do we have to do that? Why should we have to do that?
Is he using the tariffs as a tool to push people to come back and not pay the tariff? Isn't that basically like the simple version of how it operates?
Yeah, but you're not gonna. Yes, but you have to have already a plan or something. If we had. I can understand if we were building a business here or already had like something going, but we don't because we don't.
This whole country used
Paul,
to run
let
on
me say
tariffs.
something real quick. I'm still trying to find the. No, you can talk after fucking daddy talks.
No, bitch. Listen,
I'm still trying to find prices.
Tariffs used to pay for everything in this country.
That's right. So hold on.
Federal income tax didn't even exist until 1913.
Hold on, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, I know.
The whole point of the I think Trump is pushing the tariffs is to get people to come back. But I know what you're saying, Biggie.
There's going to be short-term pain.
There's going to be short-term pain, and for people to bring jobs back, there's got to be infrastructure in place. It takes years to build that infrastructure. I understand what you're saying. There's like a whole. I think Trump won't even be around by that time.
But that's my point. Is one step backwards to take two steps forward. You're gonna have to go backwards a little bit in order to get yourself because we've gone.
I think this whole thing is bigger than Trump. He's trying to set it up to where it's like whoever the next president would be could take it and run with it. And it could even be more than 8 years away before that kicked off.
Okay, here's the thing. Who says there's going to be another Republican president in the next 4 years? What if somebody comes in and says stomps that? It takes 10 years. You're into building, you know that. Mm-hmm. Almost 10 years before a building is even getting going. You know that.
Well, that's here. Hold on, that's in Massachusetts. We live in a very liberal place where it takes a lot to get things going. But in the Midwest, those flyover states, dude, you could take a lot of land and build a lot of infrastructure quickly.
That's fine, but who you gonna have working there? I'm a union guy, right? I want I want everybody to get good wages, good health benefits, a living wage, not fucking not making $12, you can't live a life making $12, $13 an hour. I'm sorry, it doesn't happen no more.
I agree.
Yeah, how do we fix all this though?
No, not here.
I'm saying
not here in Massachusetts. You can't. Maybe you can. Maybe you can in Nebraska. The cost of living is different than Massachusetts.
Yeah, every state is different.
Those flyover states in the middle of the country, dude. We all know it. I know it because I look at it all the time.
Do you know that this state is the most expensive
middle.
state to live in, only next to California? Fucking ridiculous.
This is why unionizing is important. You know what I mean? To get people all at one wage that they can live with.
Those flyover states, there's just not enough population in those areas to even get the unions to be big.
Okay, but even if there is,
he's right though.
But think about this: the cost of living in Texas used to be next to nothing 10 years ago, right? You could move to Texas, get a piece of land for like $200,000 or $100,000.
Hold on, I get something to rebut that.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
I always have something to say, but I haven't. But I
want
to
hold on. I have a real life situation with somebody that just moved. So he lived here. He was in the union out of Taunton, IBW 223. He sold his house up here, made like $400,000 or $500,000, like after he paid his house off. Moved down to Texas and bought a house on a way bigger house on a way bigger piece of property for $300,000. He's down there now in the IBEW making $35 an hour, no mortgage.
But listen, I know.
So the cost of living down there is way lower.
Time out. How long ago was that though?
This was July of 24. This hasn't even been a year yet.
Of 24, you found the house. How many square feet?
It's his old house was 1,000. I want to say this is over 2. I could look up his address right now.
For 300, I don't know, man. I'd have
hold
to
on.
Now,
hold on. I will bring it up and I'll bring it up here on Zillow.
You don't have to show me. I just a normal house now in Texas.
Depends on where though. If you're talking about Dallas, yeah, I agree with you. If you're talking about
no, he's in China. It's in China Springs. He's between Waco and
no. What I'm saying is, you get outside the big cities. Most big cities are overpriced anyways. When you get out to the rural areas, they definitely cost less.
Yeah, I'm not saying
you get more bang for your
Dallas or Austin or any of those.
My wife just came from Virginia. My wife just came from Virginia. Listen, minimum wage out there is like $7 an hour. Listen, an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment is $1,500 to rent.
No, dude, that stuff's definitely insane. But how do we solve the issue? Because just like I haven't seen any good solutions to these problems. Like it's like consumerism in this country has basically turned us into a bunch of drug addicts, and not changing is like saying if you're a drug addict you should just keep using drugs instead of
but tariffs not the problem with that though. Tariffs not the issue with our rent increase versus what you pay, what you get paid.
I know.
That's outside
we're on a
of
whole
tariffs,
different.
Here, tariffs will affect what we buy every day. If you can't even afford to live, can you imagine trying to afford just to buy stuff for your kids to eat? Dude, I
agree with you.
Listen, and that's another thing. Like, okay, how many of you guys are sneaker buffs? I don't know. I'm a sneaker buff. Okay. You did notice that Jordan went up on his price about a month ago, right?
Nope, hold on, 1,800 square feet.
18. No, yeah, okay.
Paul, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on.
And
you guys can continue.
And were things better under Biden? Because I remember shit being expensive as fuck under Biden.
Listen. He did get it controlled at the end of his term. He did.
Yes, at the very end.
At the very end. But here's the thing. So now we're gonna go back up again to inflate it. How does that help Anybody.
Well, we're not anywhere
near.
near. We're not anywhere near what we were on him. We're at like fucking 9% under him. It's like 2 or something. It's like 2 something.
We haven't the tariffs. We haven't felt that yet. Hey, dude.
Look at the gas prices back then too. Listen, holy shit!
I went to buy a 6-pack of Modelo yesterday, right? Yeah. 9 something before a week ago. Now it's $10.75.
A pack of Bud Light's still less than 30 though.
Yeah, because it's American made.
Hey,
but that's all right. No, but that's the point though. That's the point of the
what
tariff.
is Bud Light?
No, you
is
guys
Modelo imported though?
Hey, what is Bud Light having?
That's right. Well, there you go. Then his idea of the tariff is working. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. But his idea of the tariff is working. Then he wants you to buy American products, so you keep American workers working. You buy Budweiser, it stays the same price. You buy Modelo, it's higher because it's imported.
Not for nothing. I don't want to drink that trash. Not for nothing.
Hey, what is Bud Light? Hey, what is Bud Light?
Yo, I hate to. I don't want to drink that.
No, I agree with you. But what is Bud Light and fucking in a boat have in common?
Oh, Jesus Christmas.
Hey,
this guy.
They're both fucking close to water.
This dude.
Guys, hey, everyone, can I say real quick? I'll just have a little crash out here. I barely said a fucking thing on this show. I barely said shit on this show. I've been quiet the whole time. Everyone can kiss my ass. I'm going to talk on this motherfucker. Honestly.
Yeah, Paul, go ahead.
I haven't said dick. Run back the tape. I haven't said shit here. Because when it comes to the construction shit, I'm kind of out on that one because I'm not, you know what I mean?
Hey, Paul.
I don't.
Paul, share my screen.
Paul.
Hey,
Paul.
eat a dick. Hey,
Paul.
Eat a dick, motherfucker.
Paul, I got something for you, Paul. Ready?
Wah.
I'm trying to show that sensitivity that I didn't think from a Republican.
Hey, I'm not a Republican.
Oh, share that screen. Share that screen.
I'm an independent conservative. Hey, I'm pro-choice and I'm pro-marijuana, so they wouldn't let me in the Republican Party.
So anyway, like we were saying, I'm honestly okay.
Do you want to watch this thing here, by the way?
One more little tidbit. So my brother went up with the cost of his beer because the cost of aluminum. His cans.
Yeah.
On what brand though?
We definitely want to check that out.
My brother.
Yeah, he has a brewery, right?
My brother owns a brewery.
Why don't you plug his brewery, by the way?
Aluminum across the board.
Why don't you plug his brewery? Why don't you plug his brewery? Can you plug his brewery?
Vigilant Brewery in Bristol, Rhode Island.
In Bristol. Awesome.
Go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you guys are more than welcome. Beers on me.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Again, he had to go up with his price. So, I mean, again, the people that go there are people with money because they like to go into a brewery and spend money.
Yeah.
But again, does that make any sense to you? Now he's a business. He's a small business. How does that help him? I don't.
No, there's definitely going to be some pain.
Yeah, see, but that doesn't. How does that?
I don't know if it's great to go. I don't know if it's great to go in the direction that we were going, though. To be honest,
we were actually moving. I haven't listened. I've worked every Saturday for the past 4 years. I've worked almost every Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
I do too. Yeah.
There was a lot of progress. There was a lot of work going on, and I know you've benefited from that yourself. I know you've worked a lot. I know both of you have worked a lot in the last 4 or 5 years.
No, I have a question.
Well, hold on. I've worked a lot of Saturdays prior to 2021 as well.
But what I'm saying is nobody missed a beat, right?
So from 2016 to 2024, it was besides COVID, was the only time that there was a slow time.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have a question.
Even between administrations, we didn't miss a beat. Go ahead.
Can we all agree on when it comes to the economy, when a bill gets passed, you don't feel the effects immediately. It takes 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. Can we agree with that? Now hold on.
Unless they retroactive it.
No, yes. hold on. If you're now getting Saturdays, wouldn't that be because of what Biden did 2 years ago, 12 months ago, 18 months ago?
No,
but you're feeling it now. So you're saying that the tariffs, which aren't even in effect yet, are affecting your jobs. But yet,
They're affected.
that would be like an immediate result versus what Biden put into place is now it's catching up. The roosters are
Every
coming home to roost.
administration does this. Every administration tries to blame shit on other.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying anything. I'm asking.
And Trump is still doing it.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna answer. I'm gonna answer this for you. So, okay, a couple weeks ago, I needed a drywall party basically on the job that I was at. Right, I needed a bunch of guys. Right, we needed a delivery of drywall on that Friday, but we couldn't get it because there was a limited. There wasn't enough, so I had to no Saturday drywall party. A lot of times that had to do with material. You know what I mean? Hey, we're gonna start framing this side of the building. Oh damn! Wait, this.
Yeah, but is that material not being available due to the tariffs immediate right now that aren't in effect, or is it because of policies that were put in place before?
When he first got in, that he hit Canada, and it affects like drywall material affects us the most, and it comes from Canada. You know what I mean? So when he first got in, the first swing he took was Canada and Mexico. So a lot
and you know what's crazy?
Already messed up the line. You know what I'm saying? It already affected.
But why is there less supply coming in if it's supply and demand? If the demand is still the same, why is the supply being dwindled coming from another country?
People are trying to wait to see if he stops the tariff, so they don't have to pay that, so they could get the material. Because here's the whole thing: if I buy this fucking this 2,000-3,000 sheets today, tomorrow he might pause a tariff and I won't have to pay that. If he pauses this tariff, I won't have to pay this much for this steel. If I just hold it back a couple more weeks, that has a lot to do with the company and the company not caring either. But
I have a good question for you.
No,
so
do
you think that these other countries should be able to have these outrageous tariffs against us that they've had for all these years? Hundreds of percent of tariff. Like there's a lot of countries who pull that shit. Should we just eat it because we're America, so we have to pay for everyone else?
Okay.
I can take a quick break on that one.
Go ahead. Well, I'll answer that when he comes back. But what were you saying?
So if the tariffs are on pause right now, wouldn't it be in the purchasers thing to buy it now before? So because if there's a pause, catch it in the pause before that. Like you're saying, they're trying to wait, right? Like I get that, I 100% get that. Why wouldn't they buy it now while it's on pause? While you can still get it at this price before the tariffs come in and it's at this price?
How many companies have capital to do that? Like if they wanted to pre-order 5,000 sheets.
I'm not talking about his company, because his company buys it from another company. You're talking about these companies that supply drywall that buy it in bulk.
Okay.
I mean, bulk.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of construction going on, right? A lot of construction. Yes. 100%. So not everybody imagine it's tens of thousands of drywall going out every day. So you don't think that thing gets replenished a lot, all right? So if the company could say, damn, we don't have a roof on the building, so we can't buy drywall now when it's cheap. You don't store drywall. You know what I'm saying? You can, on a job site, you can't get drywall, especially if the ceiling's not tight. You're not going to store it when it's cheap.
No, agree. On your job. On your job. I'm talking. No, but I'm talking about before you. So this comes in from Canada to, let's say, called Camco, a company that fucking stacks a bazillion sheets all the time, that has the housing capacity. You're talking about on your particular job, and I get that. Why aren't these companies like this drywall supplier, the ones that actually buy it in bulk, that have the storage facilities, buy it up now, knowing that we can get this price and get it out the door?
They're probably already at their limits.
Thank you.
No,
but what they probably already do.
No, but what he just said is there's a lot of construction going on. He's saying you can't keep up with the supply because there's more construction going on than he can get the supply in. You can't have it both ways here. You can't say that there's too much supply and then say, well, they're stocking up because there's too much room for it. I mean, they have too much of it. If we're using too much of it, that means there wouldn't be a supply at the house.
It can't be both.
You know what I mean? It can't be both.
You can't have, but you can't. So again, a lot of this material is claimed for before it even comes off that boat. So it's basically accounted for. Like, hey, this a lot of this shit is going to such and such job over here, and a lot of this shit is going to such and such job over there. You know what
And
I
I'm
mean?
pretty sure he's right about that because those boats will sit there sometimes, and
Oh, yeah.
and whatever it came in under, that's what you're gonna pay for it. Yeah,
Dude, we had a problem getting switchgear on jobs. These lead times
still
are
are.
52,
We still are.
70
52
weeks out for this
Yep.
basic
but
ass
okay.
electrical equipment.
And here's my thing: is that right for the Americans? Is that right for us? People
But that was
work-
happening. That was happening due to COVID. That's a COVID problem. That's been happening since 2020.
That's
never
we're
recovered.
being
That's
told
never
Well,
recovered.
we're being told that we're
I
now
couldn't get
just
parts
dealing.
for my Jeep because of it. It was because of COVID, China shit. Like,
We're now just getting like towards the end of the COVID shit as far as electrical related equipment. I'm sure it's the same for a lot of shit.
Everything across the
But
board.
these lead times were 100 weeks out at some point. So these huge companies that want to generator back shit, these generators were 100, 110 weeks out. You're talking a year and a half after the job was over by the time that fucking generator comes in. You would have to pay an exuberant amount of money or take one that they had off the shelf.
And refurbish it.
That's not spec'd out for what you wanted it for. These companies had to make a decision to do it. Either pay huge money to have it expedited or take one that they had that didn't meet your requirements. It's crazy.
That's not due to tariffs, though.
No, that's COVID.
But we'll still listen again. We can't just stop.
There's a lot of moving
parts. Got to do with COVID. A lot of.
I'm just telling you what we're being told from the people we buy the shit from.
I don't know.
Like all these situations, though,
COVID,
there's so many moving parts. There really are a lot of moving parts to everything that we're talking about.
And I think it's a lot bigger than what us four are just talking about too.
I don't see, again, I don't see the benefit of that, and I don't see us bringing back factories over here. It's not gonna happen, bro. Nobody's gonna work for that amount of money and sit in a factory. I don't see it happening, man.
But there are factories that are already coming back. Like, I know what you're saying, not on like as big of a scale as what we expected to or wanted to. But there are a bunch of car factories I know. What else?
Yeah, but a lot of that's automated, and I know you still need the people to automate
Thank
it.
you.
I get it.
Yeah.
So okay, you build.
Speaking of that AI, bro, wait until AI is gonna.
No, but hold on. This is a good segue. No, this is a good segue. Listen, this is a good segue. What we're talking, we can get off tariffs and we can jump the thing, go to immigration now because this kind of fits into immigration. You're saying there's not enough people, but if you bring legal immigration into this country and get people going, we may have more people. We may have more.
All right, so we could jump. You want to jump to immigration now?
Because it kind of fits. We can kind of flow this into that. You know what I mean?
So let's get. We could get to that now.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Those people do a lot of work we're not gonna do over here. Right. You know what I'm saying? I get coming over here legally, but there was back when Biden was in office and that big surge of people came.
When he told them to, when he said all of you surge here and come in.
Let him.
There was a big need of employment here. Bad because people didn't want to go back to work after COVID. There was there was help sign. You know it. We all know it. Help signs anywhere and every. Dude, you go to any of these McDonald's right now.
Restaurants, anything.
How many of them are Spanish people in there? The
entire kitchen at my wife's restaurant that she works
everywhere,
at is
dude. You know,
Spanish.
you see it everywhere.
Or Portuguese.
People don't want to do those type of jobs no more. It's sad. And guess
But it's a problem though because
I don't think we're not against immigration. We're not against immigration. We're against illegal immigration because
you got to be vetted.
There are laws about this, and there's a reason why there's laws because you can't just flood the market because then it causes chaos. You can't have 20 million. I'm not saying the number's 20 million. I'm just using it as a hypothetical.
Yeah,
you have 20 million people cross the border in 1 year. That's why there's a process for this in order so that we can regulate. Okay, we can take 1 million a year, assimilate people, get them into areas. But if you flood the thing, it's hard to keep track of people. Are they criminals?
They flooded the zone.
Are they good people? Are they not good people?
So back in 2008 when Obama was in office. And because everybody called him the commanding deportator, right? We can all agree with that, right? Yeah. There was no work. That's why he did that.
No, around 08,
there was no
economic
work.
crash.
And he got rid of 3 million with no due process either.
No. That's not true. That's not true. When he did catch people, there was due process. They did go through due process. He did not separate families. Those cages that he built, he had them, but he never really used them because people were
I seen pictures,
man.
Dude,
what are we saying, man?
Look it up.
Fact checker.
Look it up.
Every president does bad stuff. Look at all the shit he did look at all the people he murdered with drones. Obama said he was good at murdering people with drones, and that's a fact that you can look up, right?
Hey, take the aluminum hat off your head, man.
bro, you can look that up. Bro. Obama greenlit Americans, which I'm not necessarily against. Can I ever talk on the show? Okay, I will. Obama greenlit Americans fighting for ISIS and Al Qaeda being killed by drone. American citizens.
He killed one. I know one.
Yeah, bro. Like, I love that we say that it's not true just because you think it's not true doesn't make it not true.
It was American
in the coffee shop.
Yeah, dude, he loved that shit. I don't get why it's okay for one side but not the other. Like, there's a lot of shit like that.
Paul, share the screen. This is just a Google search.
Got it. Here we go.
This is for whatever you want to take it for, right here.
During Obama administration, the Department of Homeland Security formally removed 30 million non-citizens from the United States. This figure includes removals carried out through administration procedures do not involve a hearing an immigration judge, also known as summary removals. Here's a breakdown. The number of removals during Obama's
without due process.
And you can look into it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can look into it yourself. We don't have to have a big blow.
Wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. I'm just bringing it up.
2000 moves from approximately formally removed between 2009 and two. Do you see? But do you see the gap there? That's a big gap. 2009 to 2016, 3.1 million.
So it's 7 years. So divide 7 by 3.1, and that's your average annual.
Yeah. So that's nothing compared to what's going on now.
Actually, Trump has only how many people has Trump deported so far? Look at that.
How many?
Hold on. I just want to show you that I did not prompt Google in any sort of way. I just literally typed in the question.
But again,
because you can prompt AI to answer any question you want.
That's true.
In your way.
I'm just saying, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, isn't it? Like, it's for Homeland Security.
Ryan, type in right now. How many has Trump deported?
I'm actually not a cold-hearted bastard. Like, good people who want to work and be Americans, absolutely, come on down the right way. But if you're fucking, I'd like to get rid of the Americans who are fucking murderers and rapists.
So 139,000.
So a lot more than in 1 year of Obama's.
You want to divide? Hold on.
I got it.
Dividing 7 by 3.1 gets you average.
Well, also Obama didn't let in millions of people.
Well, prior, George Bush didn't let in 10 million.
442,000.
So he didn't have to get rid of them, right? So he didn't have as many people to get rid of. I mean.
So hold on. So look at that. So that's from the beginning of the year till April. That's January, February. So that's 4. Multiply the 140 by 4, and that will be roughly what he's at by the end of the year.
So he's on target.
I think that'll be. I think that number is going to be a lot more than that at the end of the year. We're already at 139, and we're not even. We're halfway through the year.
Yeah, I don't know how high the number is going to get.
So that's 280. So that's half of Obama.
We're not even deporting criminals anymore. We're just picking up people off the street now. Like Pokemon.
That's really,
there's been a couple.
Really.
There's been a couple. There's been a couple.
Dude, there's been a couple.
You haven't seen the people that they're picking. It's not okay. I understand getting criminals out of here, right? But when you're just taking women and children.
And I can agree with you on that. I can actually agree with that. But what I'm asking you is, why does the left, not necessarily you, but why does a lot of the left want to protect the actual terrorists and murderers and rapists? And don't say it's not true, because right in this state, we're seeing it right in this state. Child molest.
So in the beginning, in the beginning of this whole mass deportation, you did notice that anytime somebody's face they would blur it out or put their face down, right? Or anytime there was a report of immigrants or whatever picked up, usually it wouldn't say their name. It would say their nationality and not even their age. You know damn well I've been arrested before.
Me too. Plenty of times.
Your face and your name gets put right in the paper. Right?
Yeah.
Your face comes up right away. So why are we blurring all these people's faces and not giving their names?
Because
well, let me.
No.
Can I take this one? Can I take this one quick? So these federal agents that are wearing masks and stuff, this is what you're talking about?
No.
I'm talking about the people that get deported.
Talking about people getting deported. You're saying they're not citizens, but what about the people? I've been arrested with people where their face, they come out in court and their face comes out, and it's been in the paper. Like, oh, so and so deported, will go to immigration, will get deported.
So there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
But they're not posting any names. They're not giving names. They're not giving faces. They're just taking people. How many real criminals have they stepped over to grab these people?
It's hard to say. I mean, that's how do you quantify that? How
do you justify that?
Well, why are they protecting?
No, that's real easy. No, that's real easy. It's illegal to enter the country illegally. The minute you do, you have now broken the law.
But now, so what's going on in LA right now? These were people going to check in at immigration. These are people that going in to do what they were supposed to do when they came here, right?
They're already illegal, though. They've already broken the law. But
they came to check in immigration. They already been. They
went to the hearings. They went to the deportation hearing.
I challenge anybody who thinks that it's okay to just stroll into this country, go and try to walk into another country uninvited. What's going to happen to you?
Same thing's happening now.
It's fucking reality. It's just reality. That's what it is. Hey, if you go to try to stroll into another country, they're just going to bring you in and put you up in a hotel and give you a debit card and get your fucking laundry done.
See, I see it now. Now I have numbers for that. Actually.
Yeah, good.
I have numbers for that. So
hey, Ryan, could you look up how much money was spent in Massachusetts on?
I'm gonna give you those numbers right now. You keep
Maura Healey. Hey, public service announcement. Maura Healey is a fucking moron. I can't wait until this lady's the fuck out of here. A fucking clown. She cares more about her ideologies than this fucking state. That's what she cares about.
I want to hear these numbers. I'm curious.
Bro, I grew up in the Democratic Party. My family were politicians. I went to all these breakfasts. I met John Kerry a bunch of times. He's a fucking weirdo.
Pulled up something. Immigrants in general tend to use government assistance programs a lot lower rates than native-born Americans.
Not immigrants, illegal immigrants.
There's a big difference.
People that have come up, people that have been housed, talking about that. Yeah. Those with similar income ages, specified studies show that immigrants consume 21% less in welfare and entitled benefits than native-born Americans. Non-citizen immigrants use 54% less. Okay.
No, listen. The question
I can tell by Ryan's face. Ryan's doing work right now. Because
listen, hold on. The question is, why are
I already shared the screen.
Why are we spending any money on illegal immigrants? Why are they getting hotels? Why are we giving them SNAP? Why are we giving them welfare?
They don't stay long on that.
Can we take a peek at?
Illegal. The ones that legally came here. That should we shouldn't be giving them a dollar.
The ones you're talking about, that are held up in hotels, they're seek asylum, right? That's basically what they're seeking is asylum.
But a lot of that's getting knocked down.
The ones in the hotel, the ones that they're housing and all that, those are the ones that have come to seek asylum.
Do you know the criteria to seek asylum is? It isn't because you just want to. I'll give you an example. If you come from Guatemala, or if they came from, say, Venezuela, you're supposed to go to the next closest country. You're not supposed to go all the way through Central America to come to America. You're supposed to jump countries.
So what was the difference with the South Africans?
I mean, you mean the only refugees
came here with claims of genocide when that shit's not really happening.
That's different. That's
you
genocide.
Mean the only refugees?
But that's not happening.
You mean the only refugees that the Democratic Party has that's the only refugees they ever seen that they didn't want to fucking bring here? Is that what we're talking about?
Listen, over in these other countries, cartels will take your kids if you don't have them join that cartels, right?
We should destroy the cartels.
That's a real reason. That's a real
exactly.
That's a real reason. I agree with you.
That's not what the South Africans, the bullshit that the South Africans are fucking the bullshit fucking genocide claims. Because
they're definitely getting killed. They're definitely getting killed over there.
Everybody's getting killed over there.
Right. Yeah,
everybody.
Right.
It's not a race. It's not a race thing.
Yeah.
It's just a violent country.
But none of it's right. All of it's wrong.
Okay.
All of it's wrong. Yeah.
So and a lot of those people.
That's what asylum's for, though. Asylum isn't for like when your country's not imploding. I can see
it's for when your life is at risk.
No, listen. I understand Haitians because Haiti is imploding on itself. That I get. You want to come here for asylum? That's legit. I get that, bro. We'll take the Haitians. You know what I mean?
Can we bring up Brian's screen at some point before another thing that you put is becomes irrelevant? No, because I keep saying, can we chill for a second?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
this answers the original question.
Okay, original question. Yeah.
Massachusetts is spending a significant amount of money on sheltering and supporting migrants, including those who are not legally in the country. The state shelter system, which provides housing, food, and medical care, is estimated to cost over $1 billion annually, and this is expected to increase the coming year. Additional costs include education, social services, and public safety.
That's a lot of money.
Hey, that's estimated. That's
but this state is basically saying they won't do anything that the administration wants.
Even if it was 750 million, bro, that's still a shitload of dough.
But these people aren't on assistance that long. These people come here. Listen, you know how many Spanish people I got working for me that came here. They started off with a bullshit job and worked their way up, and they have.
Oh, me too. I have people in my company do the same thing. However, that's the minority. That's not the majority. The majority of these people. Hold on. So this is why welfare in itself is bad, because once you get something for free and you get something handed to you, why would you ever want to go to work when the shit just handed to you?
We have the same problem.
That's why we have generational. Oh, agreed. That's my point. I mean this as I'm saying this as a broad scope. I don't mean just as a legal immigrant. I'm saying this, and you can see this even with people that live in the projects. The majority of the people that live in the project are generational. They're like that's why when you go to the projects, you see BMWs, Mercedes, because they have all this extra money for these nice cars. But we can't afford that shit.
But those are immigrants, though.
No,
he's talking in a broad spectrum.
I'm talking in a broad. I'm talking about immigrants
those are our own people.
Same.
No.
Agreed. Agreed.
You don't see. I guarantee. I'll listen, man. I'll cut my right hand off if you could show me an immigrant that stood on public assistance more than 5 years. You're not gonna find it.
To say that that doesn't exist, that's an insane statement. You'll definitely find it. That's wild.
The number would be so low. Those people.
But I want to get everybody off it. I want all the white fucking lazy bums to get the fuck off it. And those people can go work at fucking McDonald's, and then we solve all the fucking shit.
Somebody comes here. So you're saying somebody comes here. Mm-hmm. What is seeking asylum because you know the problems that are going on in these South American countries with
if it's legit and they're not a fucking murderer, then sure.
They come on down here and get on assistance for a year or two until they get on their feet. There's a problem with that?
No, there's not. There's not a problem with that. There's not a problem with that.
Transitional assistance is fine. Okay. If the people live on it. Of every color. They need to get the fuck off it.
There's no.
It's not just a race thing. It's not. It's not.
Right. No,
it's fucking white people too. It's fucking white people too.
Right. Type in on AI. Say percentage-wise, how many of the immigrants stay on government assistance after they've been allowed? I'm kind of curious on what they have to say.
Guys, have you seen the videos?
That's a good thing to check. Right, I didn't check that, but
I have a question for you guys.
My things say 21%.
I'm curious. I've never looked.
Have you guys seen any of these videos lately on social media where people ask AI questions? It's pretty interesting. The shit. Although some questions you're not gonna get a legit answer.
You didn't watch Terminator?
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you. What are people? Bro, that's my biggest beef. Right? I believe, bro. My biggest beef with the big beautiful bill is actually the AI tyranny that's in it and the mRNA medical tyranny. Have you guys read into that at all? They slipped some fucking shit in there. For 10 years, they're trying to say that for 10 years, no state can restrict AI at all and shit. Bro, what the fuck are they trying to do? What are they trying to do?
Yo, what's the actual question?
And then Mike Johnson came out and said, "I'm sorry, but we're not going to take that stuff out of the bill."
What is the percentage?
What's the average? What's the average length that a migrant stays on social benefits? I guess would be. on average, because we're not going to get anything that we need to average it out somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I asked what percentage of immigrants stay on assistance after 5 years, and it said the answer is too complex because there's so many different.
Yeah, it might be
so many different like factors.
Dude, I believe that. I believe that.
The number's probably so low they can't even compute it.
Well, that's an assumption.
That's just you saying it. That's just an assumption.
It's possible. No, but it's possible though. He could be right.
No, it is possible.
It's very well.
It is possible. But still, assuming makes an ass out of you and me.
How many Spanish guys have you worked with, Joey? Yeah. Joey up the call. How many Spanish guys have you worked with right now that are using assistance right now?
None, because I work. These guys are in the trades. They make good money.
Yeah.
I will say I had this conversation with. This conversation was Friday, as a matter of fact. Right after lunch, we had this conversation, and the guys that work in my company that are Spanish that have come here illegally, they hate exactly what we're talking about. They're like, if you want to come here, fucking work. I don't. He goes. These guys are Spanish guys from Guatemala, and the other one's from Mexico. They both are like, I hate my own people that they make me look bad because I'm a hard worker, and they make me look bad because of what I know. Doing.
Tons of black and brown people who came to this country legally, and they're like, I don't fucking want people to come here illegally.
Right. Here's the thing now, and I know this being Latino, I know that a lot of these people say this stuff to catch so they could be on your side. They look up to you guys and they say, yeah, that's the American I want to be. So if I agree with everything they say.
So are you saying that you believe this stuff that the left pushes, that that Hispanic people can be white supremacists? Is this what you're fucking saying to me right now? Is what you're saying to me?
What? Nick Fuentes is not a white supremacist?
Dude,
Nick Fuentes is not a white supremacist?
So the millions of people who voted for Trump, they're all racist. That's what you're saying to me? That is fucking foolish. That is fucking.
There's a big percentage of it. Hey, listen, I'm telling you.
I thought black and brown people couldn't be racist. That's what we've been told. Only white people can be racist.
That's not true.
Listen, listen. My father is dark. Fucking, he's dark, right? My mother's very light. When they were in school, they would send the darker kids to go get water for the class.
Yeah. I don't agree with any of that shit.
This is in Puerto Rico, where they're Hispanic. Okay?
Yeah.
My cousin dates a black Puerto Rican guy, right? The family disowned her.
Bro, I know it does actually exist, but you know there's a lot of people who do claim that it doesn't. Like you are an outlier. A lot of the lefts is like they think that white rhetoric. Anti-white rhetoric isn't racism. It's fucking racism. I mean, racism 2 wrongs don't make a right. 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Racist against your own people, and I've seen
racist is racist. Like that.
Oh yeah,
there is
against your own people. I've seen it. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Absolutely.
Listen, my older brother that owns his brewery.
Yeah.
His girlfriend's Portuguese, right? She didn't tell her family that she was dating a Puerto Rican guy till 5 or 6 years into the relationship.
Whoa, yeah. Like, because it's cultural too, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like that.
So to say that there's no...
It exists to an extent everywhere. Everywhere.
There's a slight racism with everybody. With all kinds of...
100%.
With all kinds of cultures, with all kinds of people. There's black people that fucking say, I see that...
yeah.
What are they called? Uncle Ruckuses.
Yeah.
Uncle Ruckus.
Bro, I used to know a dude that I think he was half Cape Verdean and half Puerto Rican, and he used to call Cape Verdean people Cape Dirtians, and he's half Cape Verdean. Like, what the hell?
This is what I'm talking about. So there is racism. There is racism in between.
Everywhere.
Yes.
It's everywhere.
Spanish people forget all the time that they're Spanish.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that there's no racism. I mean, remember Joe Biden said that the biggest threat in this country is white supremacy? I don't agree with that.
Dude, hey, they just had a march the other day in Ohio, and then another one in Cincinnati a couple weeks ago.
Like, I think that all of these Chinese people in this country, like, what is there? Over 300,000 Chinese. You see, they just try to smuggle in that motherfucking fungus that could have destroyed, like, all the crop. Do you guys see that? 2 Chinese nationals.
On average, refugees and asylees in the U.S. are eligible for welfare benefits for the first 7 years of residency. After that, it is greatly reduced.
But just eligible. Doesn't mean they definitely...
Correct. There is...
residency. He said residency. That means you have to be housed.
So that means after the fact.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like we would
How long
solve
does that
all
take
of the
beforehand to get
problems
there?
if people just
It doesn't
came
There's
say.
no
through.
number there, right?
There's no number
people
there.
just-
There's no number there on how long immigrants stay on assistance either.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if people just came through the system, wouldn't we just be able to vet the good people from the bad people?
All right, but a lot of people don't get that chance. Some people, they want to get
I
here,
think they should.
get
I
here
think
now.
immigration
I
helped build
understand what you're
America.
saying, but a lot of people want to get here and get here now, so they'll do anything. They'll go
Yeah.
on. They'll put themselves in a gas tank and drive over.
But isn't that the
17 hours.
problem, though? But isn't that within itself the problem?
Yeah.
There is a problem with that. There is.
I knew a guy. I
We
used to
need-
work with a dude. I used to cook with a guy from Peru who came to this country. He crawled through like miles
Give
of
me 1 minute.
sewage tunnel to get here through shit. Like-
What are we talking
Yeah.
about? Shawshank Redemption here?
Because I'm
Yeah.
not heartless. That's the thing, man. I'm not heartless. But we all have kids. Like, shouldn't we want to at least keep the bad
But dude,
people
there
out?
has to be a better way. There has
Yes.
to be a better
We
way.
need some type of reform. Yes.
We can't
I can
just-
agree with that.
We can't just start snatching people up off the street. That's not right. We
Yeah,
can't.
like I know a lot of people don't like this, but like you see what they're doing, and we can talk about this if people want to, but you see how they're just snatching people off of the street in Ukraine now because they don't have enough soldiers. They're just taking like elderly people and
That's
like
wild.
mentally challenged
That's fucking
people.
wild, bro.
That's a meat grinder over there, bro, and
Yep.
women too.
And they have it on video.
Russia,
And that threatens all of us. That
Russia-
that fight in Europe threatens all of our lives at the end of the
They
day.
have that
Russia's
shit on
probably-
video, heaving the dude in the back of the van.
Walking
Yeah.
around.
Russia's probably doing
Yep.
worse right now.
No, I'm sure. I know Russia's no angel. Like I always say to people, have people ever considered for a second though that they're both fucking bad? They're both corrupt.
No,
Because
I-
Ukraine's
I-
one of the
I-
most corrupt countries in Europe.
Biggie, where do you stand on the what's your take on the Russia-Ukraine war? Like, what's your what's your Cliff
Yeah.
Notes overview?
So
curious.
here's my thing with that. So they attacked them, right? Russia started first, right? Can we agree that? Can we
Well,
agree
no.
to that?
Well, all right, no, hold on. Yes
You have
and
to ask
no.
why.
No,
You
hold
have to
on.
ask why.
Yes and no. Did Russia shoot the first missile? Yes.
Yes.
However, was NATO provoking Russia for the last, I don't know, fucking 70 years? Yes.
Yes.
Pushing in closer and closer. Nyet,
Now, hold on,
nyet
hold
means
on.
nyet.
It
Right.
did. There was, and I'll say this till blue in the face. There was a line in the sand, dude, and NATO is pushing and pushing and pushing, and every time they push, the line in the sand grew more
Oh,
for the,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
NATO.
Especially the
And
European
they
Union.
were-
The
hold
European
on,
Union
they-
is an unelected
Paul.
tyranny right now.
They were put. Yeah, that was irrelevant. Anyway, they would put
Fuck you.
they would put artillery on that line and pushing their line closer into Russia. And it's like Putin would be like, "Fuck you." That'd be like your neighbor encroaching on your property and setting up a fucking cannon.
Okay.
Yeah. And pointing at your
That would
house.
be like Russia
Yeah.
putting missiles in Canada or Mexico. That's what the fuck
Here's-
that would be.
Here's the thing, is Ukraine is separated from Russia decades ago, right? Back in the
No.
80s, I think I want to say the 80s and the 90s,
90s.
when they separated.
Yeah,
the
90s.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
91.
Putin-
91.
Putin, since he's been in office, has been wanting that back because of the minerals there.
Absolutely.
He's been dying to get that back, right? He's always mentioned in the back of his head that I want this back. I'm going to take it back.
He wants the old Russia back. He wants the old
Exactly.
Russia
He's
back.
Wants
always
USSR.
wanted that back.
Yeah.
So to get instead of trying to make peace or trying to go down and say, "Hey, can we work together? Let's try to work. I know we separated, but let me be the bigger guy and let's work together so we can get these minerals together and we can become the powerhouse that we were back in the 80s, right?" Now, he goes at night and he does a missile strike in the dead of night in a city.
I wonder if this would have ever happened if Bill Clinton didn't convince Ukraine to give
No,
away
bro,
their
no.
nukes.
Think about
No?
this. This comes from us. I think we started this.
Oh,
This comes
definitely.
from-
The United
No,
States.
this comes from our military-industrial complex. I want you to think about this.
It's a proxy war.
We knew that they had broken up and Ukraine had succeeded. We know that Putin ultimately wants to reclaim the USSR from what it used to be. We know this. So what do? We provoke him into trying. And we know that that's his want. We're basically handing him the goods. Putin, we're going to keep encroaching on you so that you do try to do it. try to reclaim Ukraine. That way we can start sending Ukraine all these missiles, all these planes, all these tanks.
They want Russia to overreact.
No, but that's our billions of dollars, and that's our military-industrial complex now making this shit and sending it across seas.
300 billion.
So
these guys up top are the ones that want this to happen.
So
And the
Proxy war.
The Rand Corporation.
call it what you may. It's still, you punched me in the eye first, so now I'm gonna come back at you. Somebody
Well, how do
punches
we-
you in the face.
How do we stop it though?
You're gonna swing back, right?
Right. No, I agree.
That's what that is. Now,
who swung first?
we
No,
have-
who swung first?
Well,
It
that's
was-
the same
that
question
was
of who
Russia.
hit first.
No, but that's my question. Well, I think you're gonna say Russia hit first, right? Am I wrong in saying?
I mean, they did attack in the middle of the night.
So would it be fair to say that NATO came up and pushed you on the ground first before you got up and punched before you swung first? I mean, that's
At least.
I
You
mean,
have to at least agree that that's a yes.
You could say they instigated. They didn't push nobody. They instigated it, but there was no reason to.
I say to you, right? Don't come in. All right, me and you are arguing,
Don't
right?
come here. Don't come
Hypothetically.
in my space.
Don't come in my space, and I come in your space anyways, and then I push you a little bit, and then you hit me back. It's like that was after World War II.
Actually, I got a good one.
Russia said not 1 inch close after the Berlin Wall. We're not going to move 1 inch closer. That's all we've done for the last 70 years. Is every time there's a line drawn, we overstep the line. He redraws the line to capitulate to us, and we do it again. But my question is, why are we doing that? We're doing that so that we can. Good.
Did you guys know that the United States actually went in and pretty much overthrew the pro-Russia administration that was in there and placed Zelensky in there? Like, that's a fact.
Yeah, back in
actually.
2015.
Yes. So what are we talking about? Like, they had what is that called? What is that called? A color revolution? Like, they made them be pro-Ukraine because it's a proxy war. But now the United States under Trump, they don't want to be involved in it, bro. We should pull out of NATO.
I have another question.
I've been saying that for years, dude.
No,
the European Union wants to take Russia. They want to take Russia.
In 2015,
they said it.
Russia took Crimea. Why didn't Obama do anything to when we ended up taking it? They took Crimea in 2015.
Yeah.
And we didn't do anything. Nobody did anything.
Listen, that was the last straw with Obama. When they took Crimea, that's why they entered into NATO. They did all that because that was the last. It was like, all right, enough's enough. We're not gonna let this keep happening.
Or do you think that was because of NATO not allowing Russia to get to the Black Sea, which is then connected to the Mediterranean Sea? He has no way of porting out. Like the reason why he took Crimea is because that's his largest port.
That's his largest port. Yes.
Yeah. To even before all the sanctions to get materials out to the world. Other than that,
technically,
it was
Ukraine's not even in NATO right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not in NATO.
No, that would be a war. That would be a legit fucking problem. Like that's one of his huge red lines.
Listen, we could go back and forth on this forever.
How do we solve it? How do we solve it?
This is the chicken
That's
and
a
the
better
egg.
question, Paul.
How do we stop it?
Listen, how we stop it? Fucking, first of all, your boy has said he was going to stop this day one. It didn't happen, right?
We've talked about this day one bullshit in the past.
Yeah.
It's a figure of speech to.
And both sides do it. And both sides do it. Both sides do it. Both sides do it.
You're too important.
Hold on.
Listen,
He did say he would have that war ended in 24 hours. I will give you that.
Yeah, he did say that.
But
all right.
But it's a figure of speech saying, I hear you. It's something that's on the list. And I'll bust his balls right now. He still's been able to do it, and he's been in power for 5 months.
Dude, it's like the left coming out. It's like the left coming out and saying we're gonna pay all your student loans when they knew they fucking couldn't do it. Like,
yeah, but you can't. You're in the most important seat in the country. You can't just fucking start throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks.
I mean, Biden was literally throwing shit at the wall.
Bro,
he was shitting his pants and throwing shit at the wall.
I actually agree with E on this a little bit because.
Okay.
No. Now that we have time, we have this timetable to look at. I think Trump bit off more than he could chew. I think Trump actually legitimately thought he could until he sat down with Zelensky, until he sat down Putin.
Yeah, because those guys hate each other. Those guys fucking hate each other.
Until he realized the magnitude of the situation and went, I thought I could do it, but his fucking ego. No, but his fucking ego, and this is where Trump gets it. His ego's so big, he's never gonna admit publicly that, all right, maybe this is a little bit more than I thought. It's going to take me a little bit
He's
longer.
a megalomaniac. He's a megalomaniac.
Because, dude, he just tweeted fucking last week or the week before that Putin's crazy. He just had them both literally at the table talking about ceasefire, and the next day Russia's launching fucking.
But he didn't know. But listen, please let me insert here. But he didn't know. He didn't realize that that Zelensky in Ukraine was attacking the shit out of Russia. They sent like 40 fucking drones to blow up Putin's helicopter.
That was
after the fact.
That was after the fact. That was after
They've both been doing it. You can look it up. They've both been doing this to each other. Both sides.
No, Paul, you gotta understand, when you come to the table and you're talking about ceasefire, that's the line of sand. From this point back, the shit that happened from this point backwards is water under the bridge. This point forward's what matters.
But they're not doing it. How do we get it? They don't want to do that.
Russia wasn't. But Russia was the one that the next fucking day dropped fucking bombs in Kiev after that. And then Trump goes on tweets and goes, Putin's crazy. Now, I will say this. It doesn't help when Trump's like, I'll get you guys back to the table, try to get something going on.
But Ukraine has done it too.
And then Ukraine goes they 42 fucking high price bombers, $7 billion worth of fucking nuclear bombers they destroyed.
Ukraine attacked too during ceasefires. What the fuck are we talking about?
No, that was after the fact. That was after the fact. The first ceasefire they made. A couple days later, this dummy goes and attacks Ukraine again.
It was the next day.
I mean, part of the problem is, do you guys agree with this or not? Part of the problem is that Zelensky is really not the person who's in control. It's the United States and the European Union. No, you don't know that?
No, he's in control. He's
control what?
Listen,
he's in control.
He's not even the president anymore.
He's back.
He's a fucking dictator now.
No, but he's backed by them. He's backed by the whole European Union.
Well, he's backed by them. But his presidency ended. Okay. His presidency ended.
Listen, with all the war going on, they can't have a real election.
You can't.
They can't. So he's basically.
I know some countries have done that, but other countries have had elections.
Not like that, dude. Not to that degree. No way.
You can't, dude.
So you guys are telling me that you don't think?
Listen, they're having school on the underground bunkers, buddy.
So you guys think that Zelensky is in complete control when they couldn't even fight Russia without all the help that they're getting? They literally couldn't even fight.
You're conflating two different things. You're conflating control of the country and saying that he's in control of the country. He has all his boys are jacked. Yeah, you're talking about fucking Germany, France, Spain, Portugal.
They were going to end the war. Do you remember when they were going to end the war?
Backing him.
Do you remember when they were going to end the war? And Boris Johnson came over there and told Zelensky, "No, you're not." Look it up, Ryan.
It was talked about. And
fucking Lindsey Graham and Mike Pompeo just went to Ukraine before Ukraine just did that attack on the fucking United States and European Union is very involved in this. It's a fucking proxy war.
We're not saying they're not involved. We're not saying they're not involved. I'm saying they're not controlling what Ukraine does. They may fucking put their influence in. Ultimately, it comes down the same way we hold Trump accountable. You're gonna have to hold fucking Zelensky accountable. He makes the final decision.
I can tell you till my face is blue that don't eat butt, but are you gonna still eat butt? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't. I can tell you.
Okay, but I'm saying, so what happens when this escalates to this is becoming a world war? Is this what we want? It's already a world war. There are North Korean troops and Russian troops fighting Ukrainians, and you guys probably don't believe it, but there are U.S. troops, German troops, French troops. There's already a fucking world war. We just haven't. We're like World War II before Pearl Harbor right now in this fucking country.
Getting away from what the solution to this problem is.
Yeah, what is the solution?
So again, at this point,
if it's to defeat Russia, then that's a bad solution.
He has to. At this point, he has to see who is really more important to keep around. And this is being honest. Who are you going to keep around? Who's going to be more important to you to keep around?
Are you saying that we should go to war with Russia?
Is it going to be Zelensky, or is it going to be Putin? You know what I'm saying? You have to find a benefit. Who's going to benefit you more to keep around? Right now, Ukraine has minerals and fucking their nuclear, their whole nuclear system and all that shit, right? Trump wants to give that to Putin. He wants.
No, I'm saying so.
So
Ryan,
we have to see who's more important. Like, do we?
I get what you're saying.
Do we stick with Putin that he's committed war crimes and all this shit?
It depends how you look at it.
So do you think they should take over Russia? Because you know that the European Union...
It depends how you look at it, because Russia's economy is like fucking 50 times what Ukraine is. So if you're talking about long term, maybe trade-wise, it's better to keep Russia around. Maybe it would benefit the United States in long term for having Russia around, because you'll be able to do more because they're more of establishment. Fucking Ukraine's this big, you know what I mean? Like, what they have no economy now. So it depends on the what's your point of view? What are you trying to accomplish?
I think that's the biggest thing here. You have to look at who's going to benefit you more at the end, right?
I would say Russia over Ukraine would benefit the United States in a vast amount of areas.
But I'm still wondering what we're saying. Are you saying that we should go to war with Russia? What exactly are we saying?
Dude, what we should agree.
So the two nuclear powers are going to go to war with each other. The two top nuclear powers are going to go with each other.
We have to agree that this shit needs to stop.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree.
There's no reason for this and to keep on going. For the president to keep tiptoeing around it, that's even worse. He needs to put his boots in the ground.
I don't think he's tiptoeing though. I don't think he's making.
He's on the phone with these guys. He's on the phone with these guys. He can't. He's on the phone with these guys a lot. He can't force other sovereign countries, like you said, to do what they don't want to fucking do.
Because we're not in it. He can only do so much, and I think he's doing what he can. He's attempting a lot to get to both sides of them and trying to bring them to the table. He's the only world leader trying to get these guys to come to the table. All these other.
Does anybody think we should have a world war?
That doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? That blaming Ukraine and then what he did to him in the Oval Office, I think that was fucked up. That was.
I ain't gonna lie. I like that. I thought that
Zelensky was out of fucking pocket.
Nah.
Cocky little sniffy boy got two motherfucking. Yeah. He thought he was going to see old man dementia, and he got smacked up by Trump.
Here's the other thing is that everybody says, oh, money and they're giving money. It's not money. They're giving material. They're giving them
tanks.
Tanks
and bombs, missiles.
Missiles. Now here's another thing that the
but it's still $300 billion of taxpayer money to get 3 million dead people. Is that a good?
Do you realize how much backstock do we have in military supply? My brother works for the armory. Yeah, my brother works for the armory. So a lot of that stuff has been sitting there for years and has.
There's a lot of articles that saying that we're starting to blow through it though.
But a lot of that, we can't make anything new without testing the old stuff.
Right.
I know.
It's the military-industrial complex. Yeah.
I agree with him.
We can't. We can't throw something into war without knowing if it works, right?
But we still
what we do is we're getting rid of the backstock to produce the new shit, so that we have a stockpile of newer, more technologically advanced equipment.
So to sit here and say, they're blowing through money. No, this is also
it's coming back.
We're testing. We're seeing if our products are up to par. Really,
think about it like this: we give them $300 billion, like you said. They spend $200 billion back to American companies buying American military equipment. We get that money. It's a money laundering scheme.
Why did Zelensky say he only got $70 billion though?
He's missing $100 billion because it probably is $100 billion. Come on, we're talking about fucking politicians. You know goddamn well.
It came right back to the United States.
Every single person that was in that line, dude, was like, "Pat my pocket. Here you go. Here's your." And it went
right down the line.
Everyone took it out as it went down. That's the name of the game.
On both sides.
It's happening more now than anything.
It was two Republicans. That went to Ukraine. It was Lindsey Graham and Mike Pompeo.
A lot more now than any time.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's why the military industrial complex killed fucking Kennedy. He shot at Trump. Anyone who wants to stop it, they fucking try to assassinate him.
Well, again, I mean, I guess we could all agree that the war's bad.
And we can't go to war. We can't go to war. We can't have a World War III with Russia. It's not.
Again,
unless we don't want to die, that could happen.
He really has to try and put his feet on the ground and really make this work.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You promised.
Head over there.
I understand it's talking shit, but you promised this. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be huge if he doesn't get this accomplished because he made such a big deal about it on his. He's gonna look bad. It's not gonna be a good look for him.
All right, so we could all agree on that.
A little, because a little bit. I know.
No, it's not gonna be good for him. It's not.
But the thing though is still half the country doesn't think that we should be like? Are we gonna go to war with Russia? Like, what's the end solution? What is the end solution? Still, nobody's saying what the end solution is.
It has to be a ceasefire. It has to be a ceasefire.
They can't keep on going. And this is why Putin is such a dickhead, because every time there's a ceasefire, the next day he's fucking going and shooting shit again.
I have one question though. If they expect to get back everything, the war's never gonna end.
No,
we're all gonna die.
They're gonna lose.
Who's gonna be waiting to get?
He's not giving up Crimea. They're not giving up Crimea, and they're not getting back fucking the Donbass region either. Those are gone. It's gone. And Donbass doesn't even.
But Zelensky's saying no. Zelensky's saying he won't. He wants all of it.
Zelensky was shooting fucking missiles into Donbass before Russia even invaded them. That's part of what. That's from what I've heard. That's part of the reason why Russia even probably invaded. It's because they're mostly Russians on that part. That part of the country is what borders Russia. The majority.
Hey, guess what? They all used to be Russians. Hey, you guys remember Chernobyl? Like growing up as a kid, seeing like shows and movies and shit. That's Russia. That was Russia. I mean, it's Ukraine now, but that was Russia. Like it's brothers and cousins, and they're fighting their own family at the end of the day. I don't know if a lot of these people are related to each other. Like, it's a Slavic war. It's been going on forever.
I'd love to go on, but I could give you guys a half hour more, and I got to get to stuff in my
kid. Oh no, yeah. Anytime, yeah.
I can only give you a half hour more, man. Yeah.
So what should we do now?
I'm looking.
Yeah. You've been great.
Right now, she's giving me them eyes, like motherfucker. You
I know. My wife.
Right, so here's the thing: we could hit DEI real quick. We could hit Big Beautiful Bill, or we just touched upon what he thought about for the Russia war, for the Russia and Ukraine war. Hamas and Israel. Would you be willing to talk about them boys over in Israel?
That's
boys.
That's a little more.
That's complex. That's complex.
That's complex, and I think that's something for another show to start. I think that's something to talk about in one whole show. I'm gonna be honest.
For real.
Hey, if you're willing to come back, bro. Yeah, dude. If you're willing to come back, whenever you want to.
I thought we just did the bill. Why don't we jump to DEI?
We do DEI.
Yeah, sure. I would do whatever. But yeah, if you're willing to come on like in once in a while, you can be our
I don't know. It's up to you guys. I don't know if I annoyed you guys enough.
No. I think it makes the show more balanced. I've always wanted it, but nobody would ever come on. Yeah, so I appreciate it.
We didn't really touch on the bill. We didn't touch on any of those shit inside of it.
We did. We talked. We
talked about hearing that. What do you guys think about what it says in the bill?
That wasn't. It was kind of in the bill. We didn't talk about.
All right,
what do you guys think about the
bring something up then. Then bring something up out of the bill. Bring up a topic to talk.
One of the things we talked about in the group chat was the no tax on tips or overtime.
All right, that's hey, good thing to start on. So you were talking about that. You were gonna explain to me how the taxes work. So go on.
He's gonna explain you.
Okay.
Ryan.
Dude, Ryan did his motherfucking homework.
No, hey, get rid of your background.
I know he was excited to talk about this. So bring it on.
Hold on. Let's start off how you think that no taxes on overtime is bad.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's nothing drawn out. There's a couple things drawn out. There's nothing drawn out as into safety guards about how that's gonna work. So we're saying right now no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Yeah, that's great. You're gonna pay that at the end of the year.
How?
You're paying that because if you think that the government is not gonna tax you on your overtime, they're gonna give you a break during the week. Yeah. You want to work? Absolutely. At the end of the year, they're gonna want their money back.
So hold on, let me ask you this: Do you think that affects your weekly paycheck or how you file your taxes?
That's gonna affect you at the end of the year, because now you'll be in a whole different tax bracket.
No, because I just heard you say
depending on how much you worked.
No, I just heard him say that. He goes, "This is gonna help you during the week, but at the end of the year, it's gonna fuck you." That means you're saying that if you worked 20 hours overtime, you're gonna see no federal tax come out of your overtime on your paycheck. Is that what you're saying?
If you work, let's just say, okay, for instance, you worked. You had a Saturday on your overtime, right? Your time and a half, right? You're gonna see that money, no taxed, right?
In your check?
You're gonna see that in your check, right? You're gonna see that in your check, no taxed, right? they're gonna come back and bite you in the ass at the end of the year.
But I just want to clarify that with you because that's not what the bill says it's going to do.
Correct.
Now, Ryan, you have the graph. Show the graph, Ryan.
Show the graph.
This is the ambush. This is the ambush.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
It's not an ambush.
Hold on.
I'm just kidding.
I don't have a graph, but I read it. I read.
You know what would solve all this? Abolish federal income tax. That's what I stand for.
It's something we can all agree on.
Mm-hmm.
So Ryan, explain what you make at the end of the year and how it's deducted off.
So they're not making it a payroll. It's not that it's still going to come out of your check during the year. What they're going to do is whatever overtime you worked, they're going to give you a tax deduction up to that amount at the end of the year, up to $160,000. That's how it's written right now. If you make over 160, you're not going to be able to write off any overtime.
So you're not getting it weekly in your check.
You're not getting it in your check.
So there you go. So there you go. If you made over 160 in overtime, you're not going to get it back.
This doesn't help you. This bill's not for you. Basically, this bill doesn't account for that. Hey,
hold on,
dude.
Hold on.
That's no help. I don't know where you're talking. That doesn't help anybody. Well,
that helps everyone. That helps the majority. That helps the majority of people. Most people don't make 160K a year. Let's be honest. The average median income is like 60K.
I know, but a lot of the union guys in Boston make more than that.
Yes. That doesn't
unfortunately
help.
With the amount of overtime.
No, but this is what
70% of the country, 70% of the country makes that kind
bills
of
are never going to hit 100% of anyone.
Bills
are always going to be for the majority. You guys are the minority. If the median income is 70,
but you were asking how does that help? That doesn't help me.
No, but you're in the minority. And people that make 160K a year probably don't need that tax write-off as much as someone who makes 70.
Shit, I could put another addition on my house. Why not? I can't do that.
No, but these people.
Hold on. You're talking about addition. What people that can't eat? Oh God.
What people that can't eat and they use that?
All right, but this was okay. Here's isn't
this is good? I like this.
Isn't the American dream to make money and to be successful? Hey, dude, I don't even have a high school education, and look where I am.
Bro, you're because you're one of the minority exceptions, though. The majority of people don't make that kind of money.
My wife,
about like 80 to 85% of people don't make that money.
My wife grew up in the projects. Right? And now we're doing really good right now. So guess what? I worked this. I did the honest thing. I did whatever I had to make to be in that tax bracket. And now I'm gonna get porked.
So hold on.
You're not get porked. It's the same.
This is the first.
Nothing changes.
This is the first rendition.
That happened to people. That happened to people under Biden's inflation. People who all of a sudden were like, "Oh shit, I'm middle class now. Oh shit, I'm middle class now." And then you're like, "No."
Right. Say the thing.
This is the.
I don't know what's so funny about that.
We're not laughing at that.
And that's that. There you go. You just said it. Good point. This is the first rendition of what what it is. Right.
They're still going back and forth.
Exactly. There's still things they're working on.
That's right.
So it doesn't just because it says that right now doesn't mean it's gonna.
No, but that's what we have. But how?
No, I know.
But
oh my God!
I mean, for right now, it's done.
And Joey,
it's the bill.
Just at your point right there, right? Right now, that don't help me.
Hold on. Well, if I can get a fucking word in edgewise, good Lord, dude.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
Holy shit.
Okay, sorry.
I'm the one with the motherfucking paper here.
Yeah.
Get the motherfucker just talking shit.
Let's let this guy do his thing.
Holy shit. Good Lord.
That was a Paul moment. You just had a Styles crash out. I like that.
Holy shit. The next rendition was potentially bump it up to 200.
He just spanked us.
There goes that. So anything that you guys have blabbed about for the last 5 minutes is fucking irrelevant if that one goes in.
Well, no, but to his point, it isn't solidified yet.
No, I know. And I know 200 is obtainable if you're in the union and work a lot of overtime. Trust me. It's super obtainable. Me and my wife,
we filed together.
I know, but so the overtime goes by individual, regardless if you're married or single.
That's still
so I have a basic fucking thing here. If you gross income of $100,000 and you make $75,000 in regular pay and $25,000 in overtime, your tax liability at the end of the year on 100 is $17,051. If you take your deductions and you have 2 kids at $2,000 per kid in 2024, it brings your income down to 81,400 of adjusted gross income. So that's what you're going to pay taxes on. Your return at the end of that, correct. Your tax liability is $12,959 on that 81.4. Say throughout the year you've paid, for easy numbers, $400 a week, you would have paid $20,800. So you're getting back
my brain right now.
$7,841. Hold on, this is just a basic. So if you
he's ready. He's ready.
No, go ahead. Keep on.
If you can, so let's just say that's before the no tax on overtime. If you can write off that $25,000 in overtime at the end of the year, you're going to get back an almost $14,000 refund instead of an almost $8,000. So being able to write off that $25,000 in overtime is going to almost double.
I think that's why me and my wife had to pay $4,000 this year because we didn't adjust our W-4s. Remember we were talking about that in the chat too.
So it all depends on how you file. Your CPA should say you can either file married joint or married separate, depending upon what you guys make and what you have for deductions.
I feel like public schools should be teaching people more about taxes and shit like this. There's not enough. You know what I mean?
No one understands how it works. Do we have a marginal tax system?
That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what the big wigs want. For us not to understand.
Here's exactly what it says. It says, the bill further complicates tax codes in several ways, is sending taxpayers through a maze of new rules and complications and costs that may cause a probability that overweigh any potential of tax benefits. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and car loans come with various conditions and guardrails that, if affected, will likely require hundreds of pages of IRS guidance to interpret, right?
It says likely. That feels like it's an opinion of what might. You know what I mean?
Because the bill isn't passed yet. So there is nothing. There's nothing concrete where you can say this is definite. So everything right now is speculation.
Do you know what I find mind blowing? That a bunch of Republicans didn't even know what the fuck was even in the bill.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yes. And she doesn't want that shit, dude.
But that's common though. That's common.
We didn't talk about
with all these bills.
Yeah, but dude, that's a bad look.
Like the mRNA, bro. There is mRNA. Medical tyranny written. I know you're laughing at this, but it's fucking bro.
Because we're talking about taxes, dude.
I know, but my brain, it's been screaming in my brain the whole episode. Sorry.
Let him fucking jerk off.
Oh my
God.
Tell us.
No, but just saying, there is mRNA medical tyranny in this thing.
This is the Timmy in the group, right?
You know how, you know how they just listen. I'm a special person. I'm a special because I know what I'm talking about, but I'm also retarded. It's kind of a weird. You know what I mean? But anyways, the shit in
the it's gonna go bad. This is actually going pretty good. I thought this was gonna go bad.
Yeah, no. I kind of knew it was gonna go good once we started to. Even though we argued a lot, we started to sort of realize that there was some things that we had in common. So I thought it would be good. I like this. If you're with this, bro, if you want to do this, we absolutely would take.
Hey, listen, we didn't get through our list, so
which is why we could do it. Yeah, you have to come back.
The other thing. Hold on. The tips thing. The tips thing. So that's how the overtime works. Yeah, whatever you get up to, and whatever the final number is, it could benefit us. It couldn't benefit us. We don't have that information right now because just like the tips thing, it went back and forth between the House and the Senate a few different times. It got adjusted. So my wife is a waitress. And she makes whatever she makes a year.
And then she makes whatever on her tips.
Correct. And I'm saying gross overall. So the place she works at counts her tips at the end. They count it all because it's mostly credit card. And then she gets so she doesn't go home with cash every night. She gets a check at the end of the week. So she gets taxed on most of it, which is bullshit anyway. That cash thing is only if she gets cash.
Here's my thing about that. Let these fucking people have their tips, man.
There is no.
Why the fuck are we even? I agree with that 100% because a waitress, anybody serving you, you deserve that money. Sorry,
right. It's because the government wants to keep their boot. The government wants to keep their boot on our neck. That's why.
I think that's fucked up. If I was an owner, I would give you an hourly wage and keep whatever the fuck they give you.
You said that you want to open a restaurant. I will fucking cover that shit.
That's after I retire, I got 10 more years in the union. I have 25, and when I'm done, I'm gonna ride off in the sunset and hopefully open a
Yeah,
business.
I've been with the school department. My union is Teamsters, but only for like 8 years because I worked. So like I got a long ways to go still. You know what I mean? But whatever.
I'm just trying to. Listen. My body's beat.
Bro.
I've been doing this since I was 18, and
Yeah.
I'm 45 now.
I'll be 45
almost
August 24th. I'll be 45.
42.
Yeah. So
I'm 42.
So I'm
how old are you, Ryan? Little
out.
baby.
36.
Oh, young blood.
Younger guy.
Yeah.
Okay. See?
Yeah.
But so you didn't go through 2007 and 2008.
I was a first-year apprentice when I was in 08.
Yeah.
But you didn't feel it like everybody did. Did you feel that?
No, I worked right through
When that bubble popped.
because
he was
I was a first-year
apprentice. He's the cheapest people that we could possibly have.
yes.
Yeah, I literally got in. I couldn't have gotten at a better time, to be honest with you. I literally rode that wave, dude. There was a time in my company, and Joey, you know who I work for.
Yeah, I got laid off in 08. I got laid off
for you anyway.
Yeah.
Right here. I was off 07.
No, I was lucky
back
enough to be a young apprentice and make my way through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they kept it working. He was the cheapest.
Cheap enough. Yeah.
I wasn't that lucky. And this is why I thank Obama when he was in office, because he kept on extending that unemployment. And if it wasn't for that, I would have been on the street. You know what I'm saying? That was very big. Do you know that nervousness of, damn, man, I can't find
How am I going to survive?
How am I going to survive? And then every couple months when he said, no, I'm going to extend that unemployment for people, that was
that's where I agree with the social system like that.
And I got it too, actually. I collected unemployment in 08 for like a fucking year because I couldn't find work.
That's exactly what I'm
so
saying.
I'm not against that. I'm not against transitional assistance. I'm not against lifetime and generational assistance.
Isn't that what the system's called? DTA?
All the whiteys too on it. They need to get the fuck off it too.
That's why he was so tough on immigration at the time, because there was no work. There was no work, so he had to get rid of, like, hey, I gotta get work for people, so I gotta get people out of this country that don't belong here. That was his biggest thing. Like, there was no work for my own people, so I have to get tougher on immigration, so some of these jobs can open up.
I definitely think we need to find a happy medium in this country right now. I feel like we need to find a happy medium of who we're going to get rid of and who we're going to keep, because some of the people that the left wants to keep, it's not like the Trende de Agua shit. Like,
you
I don't
have that
man.
Thinking that, all left wants to keep, but that's not true.
Not everybody. You're right, because you're not like. Do you see how they're trying to force like this whole Egyptian family after that shit that happened in what was that, Boulder, Colorado? Where the dude was lighting Jewish people on fire.
She got, I think the daughter, right, got kidnapped and killed.
No. This is the guy in Boulder, Colorado, who made a bunch of
Molotov cocktails
and a flamethrower, and he lit a bunch of Jewish people. Some of them were Holocaust survivors that he lit on fire.
One of them was. One lady was.
Again,
hate is hate. Like,
listen, again, that's fucked up, right? There's no reason for that, right?
Yeah.
The guy was here legally. He was from what was it, Egypt?
Yep.
From Egypt, right?
Did you say legally or illegally?
Illegally.
Right. Yeah.
He was here illegally.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure his wife and daughters are big supporters of what he does too. So like, that's a danger to the homeland.
Right now, everybody's doing some crazy shit. Like, did you see the kid that blew up the fertility clinic or the abortion clinic or something?
I think I heard something about this.
That kid's an American citizen.
Dude, that shit's mental. I wish we could actually. This is gonna sound crazy, but like the people who are the worst people of society, who are never gonna stop doing bad things to people, I wish we could do like they used to do and just go toss them. Like Australia, when Britain took all their fucking shit bags and threw them in Australia, but you can't do that. So.
I wouldn't listen. They want to open up Alcatraz, so.
I know.
I heard.
Actually, I don't know if that would be. I think that was just a publicity stunt.
It's a museum. It's a museum now.
I think it would be too expensive.
Yes. Do you realize how much money it would cost to try to bring that back up to
I mean, I love history. So part of me wants to be. Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's all dilapidated now.
No, it's a museum.
Yeah.
It's a museum now.
Like, because of the history, part of me like thinks, yeah, let's do it, but it just doesn't. It's not practical. It's not practical.
Do you not think people be protesting about putting people over there either?
Yeah.
100%. No,
yeah, they would.
Absolutely would. Of course
they would.
People go ape shit. Come on.
Yeah,
because they'll be like, oh, what's the health conditions over there? And dude, the amount.
Have you guys ever watched those prison shows on Netflix of prisons in other countries?
Well, I used to watch Locked Up Abroad, and
Yeah. That bro, that shit that's fucking crazy. Like how the inmates control the prison and shit. Like they make people. Yeah, they make people capos. They make people capos and shit, and they control the other inmates.
Little story in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
There was a jail they shut down, and also the Bear. They shut it down because the plumbing stopped working because the bodies that they were flushing down the toilet got stuffed.
That's crazy.
The inmates were in there for months without working toilets, without working.
Is this Rikers? Is this what you said, Rikers?
No. Also in Puerto Rico.
Because they did that shit did that shit in Rikers Island too, dude.
It was so
That's
bad.
Disgusting.
So, I mean, just think of that alone. I mean, jails are not. Don't do the crime. You ain't gonna get shot.
Right. How much more time? Sorry to interrupt. How much more time do you have left? Because,
dude, I wanted to get off of here.
Yeah, actually, we can cut it short if you want, because my wife is just showing up with my nephew who's a baby, and she's asking me like if I want to go and grab lunch and shit. So.
No, that's fine. Listen, man.
And he's gonna come back. I think we got a new friend, guys.
For sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this was productive. I enjoyed
this
the time.
Good. I think we need these conversations.
Paul, I didn't mean to blow your mind with those numbers either. I know I just gave that's a basic.
Yeah, you broke my brain. Bud.
I think it'd be cool to probably do a round table.
I'm good at writing. I'm good at. Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say I'm good at
almost like a drink champs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love drink champs actually. Yeah. Awesome. Bro, because I've been saying this. You're right, bro. I've been saying this that we need to every once in a while do an in-person podcast at the old freaking studio. My brother-in-law said whenever, so we should do that and have some.
I think that would be.
Have some drinky poos.
Something good.
I bet your weapon. We have one more guy too that you have to meet, and if we're in person having some drinky poos, I bet you he'll be on the episode.
Yeah, he'll just say, "I'll have to check back on that."
Yeah.
Don't feel bad because I had one the other day that just did that to me yesterday. So
yeah. I like the gummies. I like to eat the THC gummies.
Let's see if we can pull him out. His little
because I think he would be good too. Yeah, I think he'd be good too. I like it. Yeah.
No, he was, but I think he got kind of scared off. So
yeah. That's what I thought too.
Second,
but I don't want to bust his balls. But I want to bust his balls.
No, because you want people to come back, right? That's
I was gonna say. Oh, guys, I can't do the podcast either. My grandmother just died again, but I didn't do that.
He was like,
he was This is kind of he totally gets the podcast. This is like part of the camaraderie and the thing we do on this podcast. Like everybody, like you have to neg me a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is how it works. But yeah, so.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this was interesting. Whenever you guys are ready, you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will talk in the group chat and we'll plan this all out and shit.
No doubt.
And that's cool because that means that you can make a list too every week. I mean, I think it'll make this show much more balanced. I really do.
Any certain topics you want to bring up? There's certain things that we kind of didn't really brainstorm on topics too much. But if you want to be more
I think another to bring somebody different every weekend, somebody from another walk of life.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard.
I know it's hard because some people don't. They get squirmish. Even I wanted to bring my stepdaughter on because she's in her 20s. She's a college student. She is I'm gonna set Timmy off over here. She is of the LGBTQ plus community.
Which other bro? Do you realize that I'm gonna be flying down south to go to a gay couple's wedding that I've been friends with for 20 years. Like, I don't have a problem with people.
I'm not.
Silly.
I know that I know that demographic thinks a little bit different, and even thinks different than myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally don't have a problem with them. I really don't.
Because even them kids say some shit that I do a double take.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, so I'm as liberal.
Like some
as
of the stuff,
am,
like when they have the parades and they're like in assless chaps, shaking their asses in kids' faces. That's kind of fucking weird. You know what I mean? That's kind of weird.
He shouldn't be at no shit like that.
Yeah, I know. I blame the goddamn parents, brother. Great point. Yeah, Gary. Hey, give him the fucking air horn for that one.
You know, as liberal as I am, I still have
common sense.
I have, yes, and conservative views. You know what I'm saying? I did grow up in a religious house, so I believe.
Yeah, me too. I was raised Catholic.
I believe in. I believe that there is, when you do something, there's some sort of get back from that.
Yeah. Because Jesus did say that we shouldn't shun these people. We should still try to help them. He did say that.
I just think helping the next guy.
Joey's fucking breaking apart inside right now. Joey just thinks that religion is just a bunch of diddlers. So
hey, listen.
They infiltrate the church.
I get it.
Satan.
There was, dude. When I was a kid, I used to ask myself all the time. Yeah, you know, in church that don't make no sense. But shut up. That doesn't. It's just how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
right.
Like they tell you
But I think if my mother didn't pray for me every day, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I pray every day. Like, I know these guys think it's a joke, but I pray.
We think it's a joke with you.
I pray for you guys. I pray for these guys every week when I go to church. I pray for these guys, and God comes down and fucking slaps me.
Listen, again, to each their own. But I have a.
But on that note, though, can we? Everybody can say goodbye, their little goodbyes, but I gotta run.
Absolutely.
Before the wife starts fucking calling the dogs on me.
We'll reconvene.
Thanking you.
Guys, respect.
Yeah. And we'll talk in the group.
Good,
yeah, dude, this was sweet.
I appreciate you coming on, dude. This was definitely productive.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, and
awesome.
Finally, we've had somebody.
You said you was gonna eat me up. I told you, man. I told you I wasn't coming with no bullshit.
Hey, to be fair, you were much more well spoken in person than in the group. Yeah,
it's hard to write sometimes.
I think it's hard to. Yeah,
I'm not tech savvy.
Yeah,
I can't text shit. And then when you guys say all this shit, I try to get back, and I'm like, I can't even fucking keep up. You know what I'm saying?
Next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That's what happened the other day.
And my wife is mad at me because I didn't spend no time with her. And then you guys, crickets. He ain't saying shit.
Oh no, my wife hates me. Yeah, bro, my wife hates me because of politics.
I'm over here fuming like this motherfucker. Like, trust me, I want to get at you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had too much fun with that shit. I just knocked over my camera. Sometimes I just have too much fun. Do you remember I said in there? I'm like, sorry, man. Sometimes I just get out of control.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think, like I said, it was.
I feel like we have more of a respect for each other now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I don't think you're a clown anymore.
Well, I'm still a little bit. I mean, hey, I am the class clown.
Don't stop with the clown emoji. Don't stop hitting him with the clown emoji, though. Now it's even better when you do it.
I actually love it. Yeah. Like the way friends fucking bless each other's balls. Yeah, no, I definitely. But so, guys, I'm about to head out, and we can continue this conversation at some point later on, whatever. Enjoy your days, gentlemen, and we'll talk soon.
Well. Thanks, man.
All you SunDazers out there. I don't know if that's ever gonna catch on. All you SunDazers out there. Later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.